Hello folks, welcome to part 4 of the Blazing Lasers playthrough. And here we are on stage 7. Pretty much one of the most memorable stages because it's one of the hardest. Back in the day I used to get a few game overs on this one because it's sort of like a mini rush of bosses and lots of enemies. Of course, here is the boss from stage 1, just a little harder, especially without the beam blaster shield. But, unfortunately, it gets a little more intense and much worse from here. As you'll have little enemies that shoot lots and lots of bullets, missile-toting missile launchers, well, lots of missile launchers, and little enemy cannons like that all over the place. Oh, it's a mess. Plus you got these little panels that shoot little bullets that are kind of dickish. So you got to be careful where you actually fly around in this stage because, believe me. Oh, and then those cannons that shoot those large pulse lasers. Oh God, this is one of the tougher stages. As I said before many times, homing missile is your friend. Because without it, you're going to have a tough time getting through stages like this one in particular. See those? See that panel there? Got to be careful with its bullets. It can literally kill you in some cases if you're not too careful. Pick up as many purple gels as possible, no matter which weapon you have. Because believe me, if you're not too careful, you'll be wasting a lot of lives here. And believe me, it took me a while to practice and get this stage down before I mastered it years ago. Homing missiles. A harder level of difficulty, those missiles will be coming out all at once and in large streams. And then you gotta deal with those cannons. Gotta be careful as you maneuver around here. Believe me. Oh! It's getting a little easier. Until these things come out. If you're not too careful, you're gonna get hit. Other than that, the stage is rather slow, but that doesn't really matter. Oh, you gotta love these panels. You got flying panels right off the surface of the stage coming after you, along with these little missiles. And here we go with another mid-boss. Roughly the same boss as before from stage 1. Only 2, and lots of little bullets. Yeah, I had to use a bomb here to equalize it, or I would have been killed. Yeah, very difficult. Moving right along. We got more surface-to-air panels. Oh. Well, if they had a stage like this at the beginning, it would have been very, very fun to play, but I guess for the kids, today's kids, I guess, if they ever pick this game up, it'd be a little bit too hard for them if they started with this one. Believe me. Oh! Ouch! Almost bit the big one there. Ow, and I still could. Again, gotta be very careful. Too many projectiles on screen. In a dickish kind of way. Excuse me. Both the explosive gels and your homing missiles are your friend. And here we're coming to the most difficult and what I consider the most annoying boss in the game. Not only does it shoot lasers, missiles, and little bullets at you, but it moves around and, well, later, it moves into little shifts. So you gotta be careful. Move in between the bullets, avoid the large lasers, and let the missiles do the work. If you have to spread any spread weapons, you always remain at the side because you don't want to be caught with those large lasers or the bullets. And this is where things get a little more complicated. Now I gotta deal with the missiles that it shoots. Requires a lot of patience. Fortunately that power came out of nowhere, which is very useful. Almost done. And there you go. On to stage 8. The bubble stage. It's pretty much memorable to most fans of the game, being the most creative and one of the strangest stages in the game. Oh, and without any kind of backup weapon like multi-body or missile, these bubbles are tough to shoot. I mean tough to both dodge and shoot. So it's best to have some kind of secondary weapon. Believe me. Ooh! And if they're coming at you, it's usually one-hit kills. So be careful as they come out of nowhere. Did I mention I like the music of this game? Not every stage is a masterpiece, but there's some memorable tracks like this one here. Even got its own remix, the only one ever to exist from OC Remix, from nearly 11 years ago. I'll leave a link in the description. It's a very good remix of this stage's music. Oh, and here we're speeding up, just the way I like it. And it's getting a little more intense. Again, this would be a whole lot harder without the missile. Because you would have to maneuver all around these bubbles and collect as many power-ups as possible. You wouldn't have a choice what you collect as long as it could keep you alive. Yep. I wouldn't say missile makes it a breeze, a complete breeze, but it certainly makes things, or equalizes the situation. It makes it easier. Bubbles. They had to use bubbles as a weapon, silly as that is. They'll get creative later. Starting now. Normally those large bubbles with the little bubbles twirling, they shoot little bullets at you. Oh, but we haven't gotten to the weirder part of the stage with the opens, or rather the tears in the fabric of reality. Well, you'll see what I mean a little bit later. Those purple bubbles, without a secondary weapon, they're tough to destroy. And it just slowed to a crawl again. Just slow to a crawl again. If you weren't careful, you usually died on this stage if you didn't have the weapons. Ah, there goes one of those tears now. Bubbles. Gotta catch them as they come down. If you're here without a weapon, those bubbles just keep coming and coming and coming. Until the tear is destroyed. Ah, and here come the bubble dragons. Yeah, I kid you not, bubble dragons. At least that's what I used to call them back in the day. They start out in a bubble, and they start shooting bubbles. Weird. Is this stage ever going to end? Another tear, lots of bubbles, and a good way to rack up points. Almost there. Almost there. Maximum power. Believe me, in the next stage I'm going to need that maximum power. The last stage on this game is something. You could be stuck on that stage for a long time without the proper power-ups, and could lose all your lives if you can't handle the intensity of that stage. Almost there. Gotta be careful here. Remain at the bottom and don't move. Now here's an interesting boss. Starts off as a space skull. Yeah, a space skull that's suffering a seizure every time at a certain point you hit it. That means you're doing real serious damage. After that little traumatizing situation, it loses its outer skin, if you want to call that, or shell, and turns into this brain thing. Shoot its mouth, or keep shooting its mouth until it's destroyed. Gotta be careful of the little bubbles it shoots out. Almost there. Takes a while. And there you go. See you in part 5.